Imagine for a moment unlocking ancient secrets. Secrets passed down for thousands of years, holding keys to, well, amazing health, maybe even a longer life, and a deeper connection to yourself.
Sounds like myth, almost.
Right. But these are real traditions, promising a path to a whole new level of well-being. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the most fascinating Qigong.
A big topic for sure.
Absolutely. And our guide today comes from Insights in the Root of Chinese Qigong by Dr. Jwing-Ming. He's really a key figure in bringing this knowledge, this healing legacy to the wider world, making it accessible.
He really is. Dedicated his life to it.
Our mission, then, is to unpack what Qigong actually is. We'll look at its deep history, its maybe surprising links to modern science, and how understanding it might genuinely offer you a shortcut to feeling better, living better. And Dr. Yang's background is just fascinating for this. He's a master of Chinese martial arts, Qigong too, with like 35 years of training.
Decades, yeah.
But he also holds a PhD in mechanical engineering and an MS in physics.
Which is such a rare combination.
Exactly. It makes him this perfect bridge, between ancient Eastern wisdom and modern Western science.
A translator in many ways.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Before we dive right into Qigong itself, we really need to get a handle on its core concept. What is Qi, actually?
Right, fundamental question. Qi, at its base, is defined as the energy or natural force which fills the universe.
Okay, energy sounds a bit vague, maybe.
Well, it wasn't vague to the ancient Chinese. They saw it as something tangible. Think about electricity. They called it dianqi, or heat qi. Light, too. These are all forms of qi.
Ah, I see. So concrete things.
Exactly. And it also describes the energy state of things. Like Tianqi is heaven qi, think weather patterns, or Wo qi is the vital energy in living beings. It's a very broad yet specific concept.
Huh.
And this leads to the idea of the three natural powers. You've got Tianqi, heaven qi, Di qi, that's earth qi, and Ren qi, which is human qi.
Heaven, earth, human.
Yes. And the crucial insight, really central to Chinese wisdom, is that our qi, human qi, is deeply affected by heaven and earth qi. We're connected.
Oh, we're part of this larger energetic flow.
Precisely. Understanding that relationship is key.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. This idea of qi isn't just a physical force, is it? The book describes it as the fundamental stuff of the universe, acting as a bridge between body and mind.
Absolutely. That's a critical point.
Yeah.
Modern physics, now tells us that everything, all matter, is essentially vibrating energy at its core.
Right. Emanisori and all that.
Kind of, yeah. And this fundamental vibrating stuff is what the Chinese called qi thousands of years ago. And crucially, within us, qi is seen as the bridge. It links the body and the mind to one integrated functional system.
Integrated? How so?
It means our thoughts, our intentions, our consciousness, they can directly influence our physical body through qi. It's the medium. It's how the mind essentially gets to command the body.
Wow. Okay. That opens up possibilities for healing, for control.
Exactly. Conscious cultivation.
So if qi is this universal force, how did people, particularly in China, actually learn to work with it? I mean, it's one thing to know it exists.
Right. It's another to harness it. Well, the Chinese have been researching and practicing Qigong for a very, very long time. Some say maybe 4, even 5,000 years.
5,000 years. That's incredible.
It really is. And for most of that history, Qigong training, the how-to, was often kept pretty secret.
Secret? Why?
It was usually passed down within the specific groups, martial arts families or religious traditions like Buddhism and Taoism. It was considered specialized, maybe even sacred knowledge. Not for everyone.
Okay, that makes sense.
But then, things changed. These secrets, these methods, they only really started becoming widely available to the general public in, say, the last few decades. Maybe starting around the 1970s.
So recently, relatively speaking.
Very recently. Dr. Yang even points out how President Nixon's visit to China back in '73 sort of helped crack the door open. It spurred cultural exchange, and Western interests started to grow.
Huh. Nixon and Qigong, who knew? So this raises an important question. If it was secret for so long, what's driving this modern explosion of interest? And not just popular interest, but scientific investigation too.
Well, I think a big part of it is it works. People are seeing results. Medical professionals are now scientifically testing Qigong methods.
Really? What are they finding?
They're finding consistently that it can genuinely help or cure a number of diseases that Western medicine has difficulty treating. The book even mentions some forms of cancer.
Wow. That's significant.
It is. It's moving beyond anecdote. There's a growing recognition of its real benefits, which is why it's shifting, from being seen as purely alternative to being accepted as complementary medicine. It's gaining validation.
Okay, so it's got this deep history, this profound concept of qi, and now scientific backing is emerging. Let's get practical. The book says Qigong can improve health, cure illness, help with stress. How? What are people actually doing in Qigong practice?
Good question. Qigong practice is fundamentally about balance. In Taoist tradition, they talk about the three treasures of life. There's Jing, Qi, and Shen.
Jing, Qi, Shen, what are those?
Okay, so Jing is often translated as essence. Think of it like your core vitality, maybe linked to hormones, bodily secretions, your fundamental physical constitution. Then there's Qi, which we've discussed, the energy, the vital force animating you.
Right.
And Shen is usually translated as spirit or mind. It encompasses your consciousness, awareness, focus, intent. Qigong aims to cultivate and harmonize these three, bring them into balance for health and ultimately longevity.
Balance the three treasures, okay? How?
Through specific regulating practices. These are the keys. First, regulating the body, or Tiao Shen. This is more than just posture. It's about deep relaxation, but also about finding your root.
Root, like a plant.
Exactly like that. Imagine growing invisible roots down into the earth, connecting you, giving you stability. It also involves centering and balancing your body. Think of the horse stance you see in martial arts.
Yeah, it looks tough.
It is. But finding the right height, spreading those roots side to side, that builds a really firm, stable foundation. That's Tiao Shen.
Okay, regulating the body. What else?
Next is regulating the breath, Tiao Shing. This involves learning specific breathing techniques. They aren't just for calming down, though they do that too. They're used actively to help circulate qi through your body, guiding it.
So the breath moves the energy.
It helps direct it, yes. And finally, there's regulating the emotional mind, Tiao Shen. This is crucial. It's about learning to quiet the constant mental chatter, maybe even achieve moments of stopping thought.
Quieting the mind, easier said than done.
Absolutely. But it's vital because the mind's intention, what they call yi, is actually what leads the qi. Where your focus goes, the energy flows. These three regulations, body, breath, mind, work together.
It sounds like a complete system for self-cultivation, practical tools.
It is. It provides a clear roadmap for anyone interested in exploring this. Foundational knowledge.
Now, one thing that strikes me is the cultural gap. We're talking about concepts rooted in ancient Chinese philosophy. How does this translate for Western understanding? How do we bridge that gap, especially with our scientific mindset?
That's a really important point and a major challenge. The book acknowledges this. Western thought often struggles because Qigong intertwines physiology with philosophy, sometimes even religion, which isn't how Western medicine typically operates.
Right, we like to separate those things.
We do. Plus, there isn't yet a complete hard science explanation for Qi in Western physiological terms that everyone agrees on. And then there's the language.
The metaphors.
Exactly, like the book mentions weakness of the liver. In Chinese medicine, that doesn't necessarily mean your physical liver organ is diseased. It refers to an imbalance in a whole system of functions associated with the liver concept in their model. It's a different framework.
I see. That could definitely cause confusion.
For sure. And this is where Dr. Yang's unique position becomes so valuable. Remember his background. Decades of deep Qigong and martial arts training combined with Western physics and engineering PhDs.
The bridge builder.
Precisely. He has the vocabulary, the understanding from both sides. It allows him to explain these complex ancient concepts in a way that's, as the book says, meaningful to contemporary readers without a prior background in Chinese studies.
He can translate the untranslatable almost.
In a way, yes. And his goal isn't just to explain, it's really to encourage, to stimulate Western scientists, the medical community, to actually study this field seriously.
He wants more research.
Definitely. He firmly believes Qigong will become very popular in a short time and that it can reach new and exciting heights in the Western world. He sees it potentially leading to one of the greatest cross-cultural achievements.
Fusing ancient wisdom and modern science.
That's the vision. It's not just looking back at something old, it's seeing it as a living, evolving science ready for deeper understanding through collaboration.
What a journey we've been on in this deep dive. We started with qi, this idea of universal energy, the very fabric of existence, connecting our mind and body.
From the universe down to ourselves.
Then we explored Qigong's incredible history, thousands of years, much of it secret, now bursting into the open and even into scientific labs.
A remarkable transition.
And finally, we got into the practice itself, those core principles of balancing Jing, Qi, and Shen by regulating the body, the breath, and crucially, the mind.
Bringing it all together. And what emerges is that Qigong is really a comprehensive path. It's not just about preventing sickness or having a healthy body. It's also about achieving a calm, healthy mind, maybe even a sense of spiritual peace.
A holistic approach.
Truly. But as with any knowledge, it's most valuable when it's actually understood and, applied.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? Maybe take a moment to consider how deeply connected your mental state, your emotions really are to your physical health. We often treat them separately, don't we?
We do.
But ancient practices like Qigong, they offer this incredibly profound framework for understanding that connection. And not just understanding it, but actively influencing it within yourself and even in your relationship with the world around you. Perhaps the real secret to living better, living longer, isn't about fighting against nature or trying to conquer it. Maybe it's more about learning to harmonize with its flow, finding balance, much like the practice of Qigong itself. Something to think about.